Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'd like to call to order the Planning Commission meeting today, June 16th, 5:30 p.m. The land that we know as Sequim was once inhabited solely by First Peoples known as the S'Klallam people, represented by 3 tribal governments: Lower Elwha S'Klallam, Jamestown S'Klallam, and Port Gamble S'Klallam. We serve as stewards of the land within the city of Sequim with the same care and consideration the S'Klallam tribe has and continues to provide. This acknowledgement is a respect to the S'Klallam people and their history. The Planning Commission serves as an advisory body to the City Council. The purpose of the Planning Commission is to provide guidance and direction for Sequim's future growth through continued review and improvement to Sequim's comprehensive plan, zoning code, shoreline management, environmental protection, and related land use documents. The Planning Commission will have all the powers and perform each and all the duties specified by Chapter 35A.63 RCW as amended and set forth or amended by ordinance. Ordinance 2009-36 and 2009-300. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Coons,
Present.
Commissioner Cummings,
Here.
Commissioner Fain, Commissioner Hable is requested to be excused. Commissioner Huth,
Present.
Commissioner Lefevre,
Here.
and Commissioner Mahalik.
Here.
All right, thank you. Do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we have some minutes to approve. The minutes of the regular session of June 2nd, 2026. Are there any comments, corrections, or? Everything looks good. Thank you, Nick. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
To approve?
I second.
Okay. Any objections to the minutes? Okay. Minutes have been approved then. Okay, we go down to public comment. Do we have any people signed up, Nick?
We do not at this time.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. Next on the agenda is the general business. And we have a 2025 comprehensive plan status update. This is Carla.
Okay, well, good evening, commissioners, members of the public. So you will probably have noticed that this status update had more to it. So we had some dates for y'all. Again, thank you for our time as we finish the transportation master plan and our sewer capacity technical memo. So those are all a wrap. We are in final drafts for all of them. And so we can now move forward with planning the rest of our summer. So as you saw, we are working towards a July 13th public release date of everything. So that will be our draft 2025 comprehensive plan. And I'm going to, at our last meeting on Travis's last slide, we talked a little bit about, like, one of the things we're going to talk about is I'll give you a preview of what the public release is going to entail. So I'm going to do that as part of this agenda item. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the July 13th public release is going to look like, what is going to the components of it, and but before I do that, we'll just talk through, as you'll see in the schedule here, that we have some things programmed in regarding your meetings that we'll be doing drop-in community open houses the hour before your meeting here. And this is intended for staff to be available, and we would welcome and encourage you if you could come in a little bit early before the meeting to meet with any citizens that might stop by and might have questions. But we'll be primarily the main people staffing those online, are those open houses. And then, of course, we'll have your planning Planning Commission meeting afterwards. You'll go through the rest of the calendar and kind of just see what those, what the dates are. And then just the highlight is the Planning Commission public hearing is scheduled for September 1st. And then transmitting that to the City Council. We'll have City Council work sessions with a September 28th public hearing in front of the City Council. So back to our July 13th release date. So that is not very many weeks away. So we are busy wrapping up all of our final bits and pieces. The comprehensive plan will entail the policy document, which you have already worked through. We'll, as I've mentioned before, there's the red line version of Planning Commission changes is online. It has been actually online since January 1st. And we'll be presenting a clean version of that. So those edits will not be in the version that you will see September or July 13th. So again, this is a good time that if you want to kind of go back and refresh your memory on the edits and the work that you did, that document's not going to fall off the website. It's just going to say that that will become a kind of historic document and we'll move now forward with the draft comprehensive plan. The policy, so we'll have a policy document that's the primary one, and then we will have the capital facility plan as an appendix to the policy document, and that's what we're finishing up now. That will meet all the requirements of the Growth Management Act for what needs to be in a capital facility plan. Your first meeting in July will have an overview of that capital facility plan because you have not seen that, and that we will that will be your first thing that we'll do upon release of the comprehensive plan at your July 21st meeting. The public release will include the supplemental EIS. The supplemental EIS is we'll talk, we'll present that to you as part of the review process, but it is a companion document to the comprehensive plan because of the fact that we have sufficient land capacity in the city for our growth allocation. It is not a document, or it's a document that doesn't pose any difficult decision making. It's a companion to the comprehensive plan. In other jurisdictions over on the I-5 corridor where their growth allocation did result in them needing to make some important decisions about how they were going to accommodate that growth, the EIS is prepared for that, did do a more robust what's called an alternative analysis. EISs are supposed to present at least two alternatives to meeting the requirements of the state growth, the growth allocations. So we will be presenting two alternatives in that supplemental EIS. The third document that we will be releasing is probably the one of the best and greatest interest, and the one we've been talking about for the last couple months, which is a full rewrite of Title 18 zoning ordinance. That's what Travis has been walking through with you kind of conceptually with all the different parts and pieces of it. You'll get to actually see all the details and the code the code language for all the things that he's been presenting to you since since March. The comprehensive plan will include a future land use map, which is what we're talking about tonight, and it will and in fact the map that's in your packet is the map we intend to include in the comprehensive plan. So again, we're going to walk through it, and that should not be a surprise for you. That's what we're intending to have as in the comprehensive plan. So those three pieces, the comprehensive plan, the capital facilities plan, it's for a future land use map, the supplemental EIS and Title 18. I guess that was 6, maybe it was 5 or 6, but that's what is the public release. That's the package. It's the full package. It will flow together. We will, at the end, you'll probably make 2 motions where you'll approve the comprehensive plan and you will make a motion to approve Title 18. So while they're going to be bundled together through our process, at the end, they are going to be 2 separate documents. So we're excited. we're very excited. We're moderately stressed, or at least I'm speaking for myself, because there's a lot to do between now and July 13th. But we're glad that we're around the last lap, and we're glad to be able to reveal, show you all the work that we've been doing, that you've been helping us do, and to get this comp plan done. So, Travis, is there anything that I missed? We're ready for it to be done. We are ready for it to be done, but that's okay. But the best work is coming ahead. So one of the things I do, just one last thing to talk a little bit about public engagement. So like I said, we have and you saw on the schedule, we'll have community drop-in open houses. So we'll be advertising that and encouraging folks to come by and again, talk to staff, meet you, planning commissioners, maybe stick around for a meeting. We also are going to use our website as our primary kind of point of information dissemination, and that is where we're going to direct people to go and learn about the comprehensive plan and read it. So we're already underway in planning on what that website's going to look like, what components, what we have on it, how we want to engage the public, and what we really want to do is make it easy for them, find the documents, read them, and then provide comment to us. And so that's our goal going into developing that website. And lucky for us, Nick has a lot of experience in website management, and so he is great that he's joined our team to help us get that up and going. So that will go live July 13th as well. Any questions for me?
Thank you. It's so good to hear the end is in sight and reasonably soon. Don't get scared. I know you guys can do it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we got some new business. Draft Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 5, Consultants' Comments.
So I think this might be a quick agenda item, but as I mentioned at our last meeting, I wanted to just share this chapter with you with the minor edits that the city's transportation consultant Transpo proposed to staff, and this was after you all had a chance to take a look at it last summer. They're relatively minor in like kind of number and scope, but what they do is actually quite important. And it is it's using kind of updated language that links this chapter with the Transportation Master Plan. And the Transportation Master Plan will be included as an appendix to the Comprehensive Plan in whole. And that is the mechanism of how the city's going to adopt that Transportation Master Plan. And so we're actually really excited to do that. This is the first time for the city to adopt the Transportation Master Plan as a component of the comprehensive plan. It's actually contemplated by GMA. So we're glad to kind of complete that circle and have that embedded in the comprehensive plan. So again, minor edits, but makes a good connection between this chapter, the capital facility plan, and then the Transportation Master Plan. I guess that's it. I was thinking I had one more thought, but I lost it. So happy to see if you had any questions for me on what they're proposing to edit in the chapter.
Just a point of clarification, those items in green, the title, is that what the consultants put in? Yeah, as far as like a new one, TR 13.3. If it has a green header?
No, it's in red, and it is mostly around the areas that have like a little cloud around it. Yeah,
right.
That's what Transpo is proposing.
Okay, and who is proposing the stuff that is let's say a header that is green?
So that's the original document.
Okay.
So that green is just the color scheme of that chapter.
Okay.
Yes.
So on 5.2.3, the transportation safety, it reads that there's an awful lot of must. What must be done? It reads like an ordinance.
The narrative.
Yes.
The 5.2. Okay.
And I thought you might want to take a look at
Okay.
that since we're looking so often at the ordinance language for must.
Okay, thank you.
And then on TR 13.3, we're removing non-motorized travel, which would remove bicyclists in the context of that.
Tell me again, which one?
TR 13.3.
Okay, so so we've added the term active transportation there, and that is the new term that WashDOT wants jurisdictions to use for non-motorized. So active transportation does in fact include bicyclists. So it includes pedestrians, bicyclists, scooters, skateboarders, kind of like wheels. So it's kind of it's wheels and feet.
So would that also include like there's a word in there, rolling?
Yes, rolling. Yep.
So would we replace rolling with active transportation?
Yeah, so the active transportation is that umbrella term where the biking, rolling, and walking lives under. So biking doesn't get lost by changing that non-motorized. It's the new term.
It's a little confusing because we do use bicyclists in here and then we use rolling in some contexts.
Okay, well, I think that that's a great point that I'll take a look at and make
Okay.
sure that we reflect that
Okay.
consistently, or we maybe define it better in this chapter too. Yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to support what Karen said, because I think that when the general public is reading that, they, I don't know if they would make the
No, what?
bridge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So if I may know, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, thank you. So I was just going to say that you'll won't, thank you for your suggestions, and I'll make these edits. When you see it, I'm not going to highlight them. So if you want me to, let me know and I can provide you what that looks like before July 13th, probably via email, but just think about that if that's something that you want me to provide to the commission. So sorry.
Can we go to 5.1 plan context? The second paragraph and the second sentence in that paragraph just doesn't flow to me for some reason. If you all don't agree with that, I'm fine with leaving it, but it just doesn't seem to have an ending to that sentence.
Okay. And 5.1?
Yeah, 5.1, additional programmatic guidance, including the components required by the GMA for transportation element, blah, blah, blah. Appendix C, but it doesn't seem to have an ending to the sentence.
Okay.
Or includes, or something. I don't know if it just
Okay.
is me or.
I'll take a look at that. So second paragraph, 5.1.
Second sentence in the second paragraph,
Got
yeah,
it.
starting with additional programmatic guidance.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
doesn't
okay, yep.
seem to have an ending.
You know what? Yeah, it's yes, I see it now.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Move on to the future land use map overview.
Not so new business, but just an update as we are getting ready to kind of be public and live with all of this stuff. Just kind of an opportunity to check in one last time to look at the future land use map draft and give you guys an update on these site-specific redesignation requests. So it was included as an exhibit in your packet, but this is essentially the future land use map draft as we know it and are expected to be releasing on the 13th. So we hope you like it. No, but if there are any, yeah, we do hope you like it. But if there are any suggestions, short of any changes that come out of this meeting, this is what you should expect to see. So if there's anything you want us to spend any more time with between now and then, feel free, let us know. Otherwise, this is it. I'm very happy with it. Thank you, Scott. Yeah.
I had one comment. I thought it was petty, so I wasn't going to say anything.
Come on.
But the yellow for the LD and the LDR, a little too close. I had to double check when I was looking that maybe there wasn't, because they both start with LD. And I went, oh, maybe it's just the color. So
Anything else? My only comment would be different size font where it identifies the area just a little bit bigger. On here, I can't read what's on here. On in the little
the
white box
key?
up in the
In the
upper
key?
left,
Okay.
the key. And might have some room to make it a little bit bigger, but thank you. Okay, thanks. Travis. Oh, okay.
All right.
And
Well,
just a
Karen's
quick
got-
question.
yeah.
On the areas that are right by the highway, the hatched areas, these are county zoned. Is that right?
Which one are
Well, it's right by the intersection, the hatching. Yeah, those are county properties, right? Is there any plan to annex them?
we're not going to, there's no plan for the city to initiate at this time. Right now, we're letting it be property driven or property owner driven. Carla did whisper in my ear, we will update this one more time. And that's when Flores Acres gets annexed. So obviously the hashing on it will go away. But yeah, there, as of now, there's not any, I guess, goals or plans for the city to initiate any annexations.
Okay,
Yeah.
just curious.
Mhm.
Okay, tell
Right.
us the story.
Okay, so not anything you haven't seen. So these just an update, I guess, if you will, before I jump into all of them. So of the 10 site-specific redesignation requests that we got, since we have met with the applicants and kind of shared our vision, not only for zoning code, but everything else we're working on. 5 of them have withdrawn their requests for redesignation because they believe it will be satisfied in another way. So they don't need the redesignation request. They believe that through potential zoning updates that they will be able to accomplish what they want to do and aren't interested in pursuing redesignation. The ones that are included in the PowerPoint and that we will ultimately forward on for hearing and everything are ones that do still want to go forward because a redesignation seems to be in what they believe into their best interests. And I'll just share that staff does recommend all of them. So first, we have the CPA 26001, and you will also notice that they all have numbers now that we have our final list. We have given them IDs. So this was initially just the parcel on the west side there, but has has grown into the 3 highlighted parcels. The one in the middle that is still orange had requested to stay highway commercial, and we did not feel it was necessary to get them all. And we didn't want to have property owner opposition to the work we're doing. And so if they have a vision for using it under its current zoning, we felt it was appropriate to leave it. But the other 3 are already developed, obviously, with residential homes. So getting them into low density residential and a conforming designation made a lot of sense for those 3. So the orange parcel is also still vacant. So it just, we were okay with just getting 3 of the 4 here. So any questions on this one before? Again, nothing too surprising since we've kind of talked about this already, but
I have a question. So the middle one that's still orange, that property owner realizes that the 2 on the other side of them are going to, okay.
yep, they
okay.
are aware. Because initially we sent out basically a request to all the property owners to come with the CPA 26001, like, hey, we've got a request. We'd love to redesignate all 4 of these. And that was the only one that was like, I don't want to go. I want to stay highway commercial.
Okay,
So-
perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. All right, we can go to the next one. So this is one of our infamous HTLI properties. They've requested to go to CMU. No real changes from past conversations. So still planning to move forward with this one. Any questions on that one? Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
You just have at the end of the bulleted future land use map changes proposed. You have the staff recommendation at the last sentence of that bullet. You might want to remove it because when you go into staff
Yeah, sure.
recommendations, that's happened on a couple of slides where it's
Sure.
being redundant.
Okay. All right, we can jump to the next one. So this is one closer to the future full interchange down there at Simdars. It was originally HTLI. They had requested that it be highway commercial, consistent with a couple of the other properties there that have like a hotel. Again, one that the staff recommends, but nothing new from what we've talked about in the past, but they are moving forward with wanting it to go to highway commercial. Okay. And then adjacent to one of the other HTLI requests, it was another request for this HTLI parcel to go to CMU. So similar to the one to the west, we are recommending that it gets changed to CMU to see what the market can do there. Okay. And this is a piece of regional commercial that was proposed to go to community mixed use to see if possibly there'd be some higher density housing possible. The parcel itself isn't necessarily, it's not super large. So in the sense of trying to get big box store retailers that the regional commercial zone entertains and allows, it really isn't the right size for something like that. And so the property owner felt that they would have a better opportunity getting it developed under CMU. So we are proposing to change that to CMU again to see if the market will work better for them that way. But it is important to note, like, the RC is an important zone for the city. So this loss was something that we considered with one of the staff initiated recommendations that I'll touch on here in a sec. Any questions on this one going to CMU? Okay. So the next 4 under CPA 26006 are all staff initiated recommendations. The first of which was getting all publicly owned parcels out of their underlying zone and to a public, or a underlying designation to a public designation, and then ultimately a public zone. And that way they don't have to necessarily go through conditional use hearing examiner processes in order to develop on their properties. So in the park, the library, for instance, the library is a good example of one of the most recent ones where they had to go through a hearing examiner conditional use permit process in order to essentially rebuild the existing use that's already established there. And so what we're doing here is doing away with some of that where it is obvious, like for the school, like having them get a conditional use permit may be appropriate for certain things, but not for all projects that they have going. So anyway, this was just an attempt to try to make it easier and more straightforward for publicly owned parcels. I will add that speaking of the school district, they did follow up with us based on the parcels that were proposed, and they gave us a list that they actually preferred to keep with the underlying designations. And, we're going to honor that request. And so any of the parcels that they've proposed to stay what they currently are, we are going to leave them there, except for one that I'll talk to you guys about here in a second. All right, so this is the only change with the EOAs is they are going to OA. So as we've discussed, we're dropping the economic from there, and they will no longer be the economic opportunity areas. They will just become the opportunity areas. And that is consistent with the use updates that we are also going to propose as part of Title 18, again, to kind of see what the market can do with these properties and take out some of the requirements for commercial development and just see what can be done. So any questions on that one? All right, so this is the Sequim School District property. One of them that they had requested not to go public. The only issue is that it was previously zoned or designated LDR. And it is, if you can't tell, it is the home of the Boys and Girls Club. And so having that as a residentially designated and zoned parcel makes it a non-conforming use in that zone and in that designation. So because we had already basically suggested it going to public and had done a lot of the work with the hopes of changing it anyway, when they finally reached out and said, hey, we don't want to change this one, we reached out and let them know, like, that's fine. But since we've already discussed changing it, we actually recommend that if you're not going to change this one to public, that it should be changed to lifestyle district, because the Boys and Girls Club would become a conforming use in the designation and in the zone. And then if the day comes that, they want to buy it or whatever, they're good to go. So we are still waiting to hear back from the school district on that. They told us that we should have an answer probably by the end of either this week or next. So that could be one that's changed, but we anticipate that they'll probably agree. So, but we'll see. Any questions on that one specifically, since that one is probably the newest of the bunch? No? Okay. All right. And then lastly, this is the Priest Road properties. We talked about it, I believe back in March, that this was a staff initiated one where we got direction from council to reach out to the property owners to see if they were interested based on a staff recommendation that we would consider it. And so after reaching out to all 5 property owners, we have unanimous agreement that they would be okay with it going to RC. And just as a kind of a reminder, this is UGA properties. So us redesignating them for their pre-designation does not immediately change what can be built there. They would still need to be annexed into the city before they would be zoned regional commercial. But part of our recommendation is based on the feedback we got with you guys and with the city council on the importance of regional commercial, where we were losing some land and acreage through CPA 26005, which was redesignating a chunk of land from RC to CMU. This was our opportunity to get that close to a net loss. We actually, I think, gain a little bit of RC here, but it's in a more desirable location. At least that's staff's belief for the use, and we think it'd be beneficial. So, any questions on that one? All right. Okay, next steps. If there are no additional revisions other than the colors and things that Scott is working on, like that's easy. So, but if you think of anything between now and then, feel free, reach out. Like Carla mentioned, we'll release it in July. Sounds like the 13th, and then we'll get ramped up for public hearings in September. Any last questions? Sweet.
Good job.
That was easy.
Thank you.
So if I may, I do want to make a couple comments on the hard work that Travis did on all of the site specific. So when we started almost a year ago, when we took out our announcement to the community soliciting site specific redesignation requests, that had been on hold by the city for at least 2 years, maybe even 3 years. So property owners have been waiting 3 years for their time to make their request. And so we did get quite a few. We got 10, and we had pre-application meetings with all of them. Yeah, stakeholder meetings. So it's been a lot of work. Travis has met with them, has emailed, has called them, has emailed, and just to make sure that we get this right. We don't want to do designations of people who, for like the school district or for our regional commercial potential, without their knowledge and understanding. So it's been a bit of behind the scenes work to get to the place where we can present to you 5 solid redesignation requests that we can feel good about and that we can recommend to you. And then just, again, that handful of staff initiated ones. So the future land use map that was shown at the beginning of the presentation, and again, as we discussed, shows those parcels as we're recommending their designation. So they're not going to retain the current designation as it is on the map. You will see them, and they won't be highlighted. There'll be other documents in the record that show those highlights, like this presentation. But what you'll see is the future land use map with all of these recommendations baked into it. So. But again, I know it's been a lot of, there's been a lot of just logistics and working with all of the property owners to either support their redesignation, or in the 5 that dropped out, to get them to understand what their desires are, what they like to do with the property, and see how we could address that. Like Travis said, and all of them, we are addressing it through zoning code updates too. So it's been a bit of a body of work that kind of gets lost when you see the map. And so I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to Travis for managing all of that for the last year.
We thank you. Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Director's report. Carla.
Okay, well, the only thing on my report is that I'm happy to announce that Alex and Larry have been reappointed by the City Council to serve another 4 years on the Planning Commission. So thank you to both of you for your willingness to continue to serve your community and to serve the DCD department. We appreciate you, and we look forward to continuing to work with you.
We are too.
Yeah, and so
We got a good group.
Yeah, yes, we do have a great group. We're very thankful for all of you. So, and that other than the status update, the calendaring, that's kind of where we're at right now. All hands on deck to get to July 13th.
All right. Thank you again for all this work. If you take a moment to realize what's been done in the last year, it's pretty amazing.
Yep.
And all we have to do is sit here and go, yay, keep up the good work.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about that today. In the last year, we updated the land division ordinance. We've got our housing. Yeah, we got our first lot split application turned in today under the new subdivision or the land division ordinance. We'll have a new comp plan, a new zoning ordinance, updated future land use map. Yeah, it's great.
Getting it done. Check those boxes, and thanks again. So we're to the good of the order. Anybody have good news? Karen.
I have a question on all these changes that we've made. Has any developer come forward interested in apartments or similar?
Not like high density apartments yet. It'll be interesting to see if some of these redesignations and zoning updates to CMU maybe trigger that, because the CMU would allow for it. And also in the opportunity areas, because currently high density in the opportunity areas is locked behind a minimum commercial requirement. So I think while the answer today is no, there could be a spike in interest once this all goes through. So we're excited to share that. I was actually going back and looking through the minutes from the 2017 adoption of the zoning code based on the 2015 comp plan before this meeting, just kind of reading through it. And it is sort of enlightening to hear all of the community's response and backlash to the zoning of HTLI and how it's not supported by the market, and we need housing and we need blah, 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 on and on and on. So a lot of the stuff we're doing is actually directly addressing many of those concerns that I was reading for those parcels and just for uses in general. Even something along the lines of like the neighborhood business zone becoming more restrictive under the current comp plan. And then the work we're doing is actually to add uses and to make it more flexible. So it was really good to see, because it was like, hey, we're actually doing a lot of the things that were issues back in 2017. And I know that they've been issues since I've been here. So happy to do the work. And I think we'll know more in, probably this time next year. It might take that long, but that's when I think we'll start to see some results.
Alex?
I saw a very informative article on zoning in the PDN about a week ago. It was explaining the plight of nonprofit developments such as Habitat, and how they have to pay higher like I-5 corridor-based wages. And so therefore they can't make a 1,500 square foot habitation for less than about $500,000. It was such a good article and presented so much. I was wondering if that could be shared, or the link amongst all the commissioners. Do we all have subscriptions that with the link you'd be able to read it? Anyway, it gave me some background information that it had it in a concrete form. I realized those kind of bizarre challenges are there, and it was sad to see it grouped it together. The reporter did a really good job and was really insightful on that.
Yeah, we'll take a look and see if we can.
I'll send you a link.
Okay. Thank you. That would be great. I'll just make just a comment on that. So the Column County hosts two committees. It's the Housing Solutions Committee, and then a subcommittee of the Housing Solutions Committee called Workforce Housing Committee. And when as I first kind of came on the scene a year ago, I started attending those meetings and understanding what you're speaking about there, Alex, which is it's basically what is called prevailing wage. So when you have any project that uses public funds, there's this requirement for prevailing wage. And so the last couple Housing Solution Committee meetings has, and there's a good diversity of people who are represented on those committees from electeds to staff to bank representatives to developers. And it's to the point now that it's actually cheaper to build market rate housing than it is to build housing with public funds. And so the committee members are now discussing how do we buy houses built by private developers and provide them, for affordable housing, because it's actually cheaper now to do that than send public funds to create housing. To create housing. So it is unique to the peninsula in the sense that our labor and our affordability rates, our affordability income is lower than but we have to use King County prevailing wage, but the median income and of course what qualifies for affordable housing is higher there than it is here. So it's a gap. And if you talk to any of the affordable housing providers, so Habitat, Peninsula Housing Authority, Peninsula Behavior Health, and Serenity House, like that is literally the struggle, is we can't build this and actually make it affordable for our clients based on this gap between what we have to pay for to construct it and what the federal dollars requires for income qualification. So it's a tough nut to crack. So I hadn't seen the article, so thank you for highlighting that. So
Yes, and it had some other dismaying sort of things. The shortcuts that for retail housing, like just 9 windows, bringing in outside construction crews was really sad to see. And a single coat of paint, because even if you're in an HOA that's responsible for exterior maintenance, we have to do the new houses after about 5 years instead of a projected 10. And then all of the places they cut corners to make it affordable, it ends up being an expense for the new owners sooner than they would have expected.
mm-hmm.
C'est la vie. Thanks.
Anybody else?
Madam Chair, I just have one thing. I'm sorry to
Sure.
interrupt. So I just wanted to highlight that the gentleman who just joined our meetings, our new Public Works Director, Chris, I'm going to enter. They were interested to know you. So say hi to him after the meeting. And this is, we are
Cool.
happy to have him here. Anyway, thank you.
Great. Welcome.
Chair.
Thanks for joining us. Okay. The last thing we have is the adjournment. Anybody like to make a motion?
I move to adjourn.
Any objections to adjourning? I don't see any. All right. Thank you all for coming. We're adjourned. See you next time.